Hi, today we're going to take a look at the ProLogic L02 from SecuRam Systems. My name is Jeremy Brooks and I'll walk you through the product overview, the features, and the programming. And we'll likely do this video in two separate pieces because it's a fairly lengthy programming. There's a fair number of menu selections to go through in the programming, so we'll cover it in two separate videos. First of all, let's take a look at the ProLogic. ProLogic L02 is our workhorse commercial safe lock. It is designed to provide multiple users with features like dual control and time delay. And these are typical basic types of features that are used in most commercial environments for safe lock systems. So we're going to take a look at its overview, features, and programming. So we have three different lines of safe locks here at SecuRam Systems. We've divided them into three lines based on their functionality. First, we have our SafeLogic system, and these are ideal for home safes, gun safes, light commercial applications. They are standard electronic locks. You enter a 6-digit code, you gain access. They have 2 users generally, and they don't have an LCD screen, and they don't have a fingerprint module. The next set are what we call our ProLogic Series, and these are ideal for demanding commercial applications. And the ProLogic Series can be identified very quickly by the LCD screen that is on the entry pad itself. The LCD screen allows you to do a lot of programming and make a fairly complex security system for your safe. And we use the menu system on the LCD screen in order to guide you through that. Finally, we have our ScanLogic series, and as the name implies, this is where you'd scan your fingerprint for authentication. This set of safe lock systems is very versatile, going from a fairly basic biometric safe lock that has 10 fingerprints and 1 code, right up to a 30 fingerprint, 30 code safe lock system with wireless connectivity and some very complex programming. So those are the three lines we have. We're going to take a look at the ProLogic system today. Specifically, we'll look at ProLogic L02. But let me tell you a little bit about the ProLogic series. First of all, as we said, it can be identified by the LCD screen, but they all look the same. And there are a variety of various ProLogic systems, all with the same look. So if you ever come across one and you look at it and you see the screen, you'll know it's a ProLogic right away, but you won't know what number it is until you go into the system information menu on the screen. And I'll show you that here in a little bit. But we have models from ProLogic L01 right up to ProLogic L68. The higher the number, the more featured the safe lock is. So the LCD makes programming very easy and simple because we guide you through the steps. You don't have to remember cryptic programming commands in order to add users, for instance, or delete users, add time delay. The ProLogic series comes in a variety of models, as we talked about, from very basic to highly advanced, and they're all powered by a 9-volt battery. AC power is optional with all of these, so if you decide you don't want to be concerned about batteries in your application, you can simply plug in AC power using a module. The ProLogic series can control up to 4 locks, so if you have an outer door, inner door situation, then you can simply add a module that allows you to control 4 locks, and the system will ask you which lock you want to open when it's time to open that lock. We also have this system available with what's called our SureLock battery management system, and this is a battery compartment on the lower portion of the entry pad that allows you to change the battery without having to remove the entry pad from the safe lock or from the safe. Finally, the ProLogic series can be paired with any of SecuRam's lock bodies. We have 4 different styles of lock bodies that I'll show you here shortly, but any one of those lock bodies will work with the ProLogic series. Alright, so here's the data sheet for the ProLogic L02. It tells you a lot about the product itself, and this data sheet can be found on our website at securamsys.com. So let's take a look at the major functions of this product. One, it has an LCD screen for easy use and easy management. When your end users or people who are using safes use a safe lock with an LCD screen, it's very difficult for them to go back to non-LCD safe lock systems. The LCD provides a wealth of information as you're using the product and as you're programming the product, so it makes it very, very simple. The L02 has 30 user codes. So if you have up to 30 people can have their own distinct, unique code. We can also program the system in single mode, which is where one code can open the safe, or dual control, where two codes are required to open the safe. We have time delay built into this system. You can set time delay for anywhere from 0 to 99 minutes. And we have time window, which is settable as well. This is the length of time after time delay has expired that you have to be able to enter the code again to gain access to the safe. Time delay override is also a feature of the ProLogic L02. Time delay override would be used in cases where you have to gain immediate access to the safe. For instance, it might be a cash carrier coming to pick up cash from a safe, or a manager who doesn't want to wait through the time delay period. They can use a time delay override code in order to gain access. Enable and disable users. If you have 30 users enrolled in this lock, for instance, and one of them goes on vacation, you don't know whether or not that person perhaps has used their code or given their code to someone else. So you want to make sure that that code is disabled, and you can do that simply by going into the menu selection, finding that person's code, and then disabling it. When they come back from vacation, you simply enable that code again. We have something called a recovery code, and this is very unique to SecuRam systems, and it's a great convenience as well as a very secure way to recover the system back to factory default, and I'll explain that when we get to that portion. As I mentioned before, it can control up to 4 locks, so we have a variety of locks that are available with the system, and any of these locks can be used in conjunction with the entry pad in order to complete your safe lock system. The units are 9-volt powered, but you also have the option of having AC power if you choose to do that. On a 9-volt battery, the system will run about 5,000 openings depending on what it's doing, but generally it's about 5,000 openings, and if you think it's more demanding that from a power perspective, you can simply plug in AC power. As I mentioned before, it controls any one of SecuRam's locks, so whether it's a swing bolt, or a deadbolt, or a spring bolt, or strike bolt, you can connect any of these locks and the ProLogic L02 will be able to operate it. Alright, so this is a bit of an eye chart, but it is a comparison table of the various ProLogic series. Across the top you see the various models from L01 right through to L68 and L80. Down the side here you see that we have a list of features. The L02, which is the one that's highlighted here, is the one we're going to look at today. But if you were looking for a product, for instance, that had audit trail, you could come down the features until you found audit trail, and then slide across the bar until you see which one has audit trail, and you'll see that it's the L22 has an audit trail. It has 200 events. So you could use this chart to select the type of system that your customer is looking for. So let's take a look at the ProLogic L02. First of all, it comes with a supercode and a manager code. As all our locks do, we send them from our manufacturing facility with 2 codes. The supercode is 111111. Enter 6 ones and you'll gain access. The manager code is 123456. It's important to notice that you don't press C or pound or anything else either before or after the numbers. Simply enter the 6 digits and you'll gain access to the lock. The lock opens with a valid code. The lock automatically relocks after 6 seconds, so it is a relocking system. Alright, so the power of the ProLogic series is found in its menu system. You'll notice that we have an LCD screen on the entry pad itself. To the right here is a list of all of the different types of programming that can be done within that LCD screen. There's something called a system menu that allows you to gain access to all of these different types of options. So we're going to review each of these options and show you how to get to them and then how you deal with them to program your safe lock. So first of all, in order to get into the system menu, you enter the supercode or the manager code. So 11111 or 123456. The lock will open and then the select menu screen will appear as we've got on the screen here. Scroll to the desired menu selection by pressing the up or down keys on the entry pad. Alright, so the first one we're going to scroll to is change code. So again, you got to this menu selection by entering your super or manager code. The lock opened. It displayed select menu. You press down once in order to get to change code. Change code then comes up, and it will change the code of the code that was used to gain access to the programming menu. So it'll ask you to enter the new code. If, for instance, you entered 123456 and you wanted to change that to 654321, you would enter at this point 654321. It'll then say repeat. You repeat the same code, 654321, and then it'll tell you the code is saved. It'll also show you the ID number of the particular user. In this case, we entered 123456, which was our manager code, which resides at ID 01. If we'd entered 111111, that would be our super code, and it would reside at ID 00. So that's as simple as it is to change the code. Next, we're going to take a look at System Info, and this is the next menu selection. If you were to press down again once you saw change code, you would get to System Info. This System Info can also be found in the root menu. So without entering any codes, you could simply press the down button and you would find System Info and press OK. System Info tells you what type of lock you're dealing with. It'll show you the number of users and the type of lock. The first screen on the system would show you in this yellow bar at the top here, it would show you ProLogic L02, or actually it'll say EC-0601A-L02. So that'll tell you the model number. I haven't actually got it on the screen, but it'll tell you in this yellow bar. You'll also notice that on the yellow bar you see a voltage meter. This is your battery meter. So now you never have to guess at how low your batteries are or how good your batteries are. The system will tell you how good your batteries are based on the battery meter. So the System Info menu is important because they all look the same. All the ProLogic looks the same. They all have an LCD screen, and you don't know what type it is until such time as you enter the System Info menu selection. All right, now we're going to take a look at some user functions. We're going to set TDO, and TDO means time delay override. We're going to set the user ID who will have the privilege of not having to allow time delay to expire before he can access the safe. Again, this might be a cache carrier, for instance, or a manager. To get to this menu selection, you enter the programming menu by entering your supercode or manager code. The lock will open, select menu screen will appear, and now you would use the up and down buttons on your entry pad to scroll to Set TDO User ID. Press OK. Now use the up and down buttons to select the desired user ID. Once you've reached the desired user ID, press OK, and that person will be authorized as a time delay override code holder. So anytime they want to gain access to the safe, they don't have to abide by the time delay rule. They just enter their code and it opens immediately. One important note here, both the supercode and the manager code, so ID 00 and ID 01 respectively, plus ID 02 is another manager code. These are all time delay override codes. All right, so we've talked about time delay override. Let's talk about time delay now. In order to set or cancel time delay, you would again enter the system menu by entering your supercode or manager code. The lock opens, select menu screen will appear, and now scroll down until you get to set cancel time delay. Press OK. Use the up or down buttons to set the time delay value. 0 minutes would mean you don't have time delay, and you can set it anywhere from 0 up to 99 minutes. And then once you've set that value, press OK. The next screen will appear asking you to set the time window. Again, use the up and down arrows to set the time window value anywhere from 1 to 15 minutes and press OK. Once this is done, every user will have to abide by the time delay rule that you set for however many minutes you've set it. And how that'll work is they'll enter their code, it'll pop up on the screen to say it's in time delay, and then it'll show you every 15 seconds the value of time delay. Time delay counts up until such time as it reaches the value that you set, and then you have the opportunity to enter your code again during the time window to gain access to the safe. Time window counts down. Every 15 seconds it'll flash on the screen. Alright, so we have a function called enable sequence. I told you before that the ProLogic L02, in fact most of the ProLogic units, can control up to 4 doors. So enable sequence allows you to create a hierarchy for the doors that you're going to be controlling. If you enable sequence, what the system will assume is that lock 1 is an exterior door, so the main door of the safe, and locks 2, 3, and 4 are inside the main door of the safe, so interior compartments. With enable sequence enabled, as a user enters his code, he would be asked which lock he wants to open. If he says lock 2, for instance, then the system would automatically know to open lock 1 first, and then 10 seconds later it'll open lock 2. That's what enable sequence is. Authorized locks or authorized doors. Depending on the model that you're using, the firmware or the age of your lock, it may say either authorized locks or authorized doors, but it does the same thing. Here what we're doing is we're authorizing which users can in fact gain access to which locks. So how we do this, again we enter the programming menu by entering your supercode or manager code. The lock will open, select menu screen will appear, and now we scroll down to authorized locks or doors and press OK. Now select the range of users to be authorized. It'll ask you which user do you want to start from. In this case we've got user 3. And then it'll say which user do you want to go to. In this case we've got user 5, so 3, 4, and 5 will be authorized with this action. Now it will show you the number of doors registered, doors 1, 2, 3, and 4, or locks 1, 2, 3, and 4. And then authorizations are shown in the second line. 0 or O means you can open it, X means you cannot open it. So in this case these users currently are able to only open door 1. How we allow them, or how we change that, is we press the number that corresponds with the door on the keypad. So if we wanted to change 1 from open to X, they can't open, we would press the number 1 once, and that'll toggle it from O to X. If we pressed it again, it'll continue to toggle back and forth from O to X. We want to give them access to door number 2, so what we would do is press the number 2 on the entry pad, and it'll change from an X to an O, and we end up with a result of 1 he can't access, but 2 he can, 3 and 4 he can't. Once that's complete, press OK, and your authorization is complete. Delete all users is another function on the system. Because you have 30 users available here, we have the option to be able to delete all of them at one time. For instance, perhaps you're taking your safe from one store to another, or you want to set it back to factory essentially, so you're going to get rid of all the users that are presently programmed in the safe lock. You do this again by entering the programming menu. You enter your supercode or manager code, lock opens, select menu screen will appear, and now you scroll down to delete all users. Once you're there, you press OK. It'll ask you to confirm, are you sure you want to delete all users? You press OK, and then all the users will be deleted. It'll actually scroll through the screen telling you which ones it's deleting and when, and then it'll finally display a message that says all users have been deleted. Set number of locks. So this function allows you to tell the entry pad how many locks it's controlling. In the case of the ProLogic, we can control up to 4 locks. So you would have to tell the entry pad how many locks it's going to be connected to. To do this, you enter the programming menu by entering your supercode or manager code. The lock opens, you select the select menu screen will appear, and now you scroll down to set number of doors, and then you press OK. It'll ask you for a manufacturer's code. The manufacturer's code is 975246. That's the same code for all of our ProLogic models. Once you enter that, it'll allow you to then set the number of doors that are being controlled, or number of locks that are being controlled by this particular entry pad. Once you've done that, you press OK, and now the system will be looking for however many locks you've scheduled. Alright, so that's part 1 of the ProLogic L02 webinar. The second portion will deal with the remaining features and programming menus within that list that we saw. If you have any questions about any of this, please don't hesitate to email me. Again, my name is Jeremy Brooks, and I can be reached at that email address. And if you can't email, or you're on a job site somewhere, don't hesitate to phone us. We're at 805-988-8088.